Maybe one of the most impactful shows to come out of Cartoon Network is Adventure Time. Created by Pendleton Ward, its imaginative visuals and impressive world building played a major role in the pleasure of seeing Finn the human and Jake the dog go on their many escapades. Many talented artists and producers worked on the show, with some already established and others going on to have impressive careers afterwards. So I'm going to celebrate some of whose names appeared in the credits, starting with John McIntyre. Serving as a sheet timer on Adventure Time, he has had several jobs on multiple animated productions, mostly at Cartoon Network. He has primarily been director on shows like Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, and the Pop-Up Girls, with him even receiving an Annie Award nomination for directing the PPG episode Mommy Fears. He's also had a stint at Disney directing episodes of Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, and hopped on over to Nickelodeon to work on Tough Puppy and The Fairly Odd Parents. Additionally, he has provided storyboards for the likes of Rocko's Modern Life and the movie Looney Tunes Back in Action. So he's an example of someone who's really demonstrated his skills at multiple animation studios and provided a guiding hand for creators to realize their visions for these characters. Meanwhile, on his YouTube channel, you can find several animated shorts he has made, an example of his own unique talent. Martin Anspaugh. One of the striking things about Adventure Time is the land of Vu and the colorful backgrounds that bring it to life. And credited as a background painter on several episodes and getting nominated for Best Production Design Annie for his efforts is Martin Anspaugh. He has been a background painter and art director on several other animated series throughout his career, including Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Craig the Creek, and the Pop-Up Girls. He has served other roles too, including as character designer on The Critic and Rocko's Modern Life, and a development artist on My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. He has also designed title sequences for live-action productions, like the movie Adventures in Dinosaur City and the sketch comedy show In Living Color, latter of which earned him an Emmy Award nomination. Looking even at his sampling of his credits highlights what a talented artist he is. Kent Osborne. Another artist who's worn several hats, on Adventure Time he's worked as head of story and voice director. He has written and storyboarded several episodes of the show, receiving multiple Emmy Award nominations and winning twice for Outstanding Short-Form Animated Program. Osborne has storyboarded on several other shows too, like The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, Camp Lazlo, and most notably SpongeBob SquarePants. He was a co-writer on the SpongeBob SquarePants movie and helped write several of the songs, including the Goofy Goober song. He's also been a voice director for Steven Universe and a writer and producer on Kif. He has occasionally had a stint as an actor too, appearing in movies like School Ties and Surviving Christmas. It's an impressive list of credits, and Kent Osborne seems to have a particular affinity for animated series with energetic and outlandish worlds and characters. Derek Dryman. Another SpongeBob SquarePants veteran, he played a principal role in developing that show and working as its creative director for several years, and he recently directed the Search for SquarePants movie. As for Adventure Time, he was an executive producer on the show, but surprisingly only for the first season, as he then moved on to other projects. In addition to SpongeBob and Adventure Time, he was a director and writer on Cat Dog, and has storyboarded on a number of DreamWorks animation movies, including the first 3 Kung Fu Panda films. He also co-directed Hotel Transylvania 4: Transformania. While he is primarily known for a sponge who lives in a pineapple under the sea, as you can see, he has quite a number of accomplishments beyond Nickelodeon's most popular character. Natasha Allegri. Starting her animation career on Adventure Time, she contributed character design, storyboards, and other artwork pivotal to making the show what it is. The biggest role she played in the development of Adventure Time was creating Fiona and Cake, the gender-flipped versions of Finn and Jake. Her initial drawings were so positively received, the characters were eventually added to the series, with Allegri even singing an altered theme song for their episodes. She would then write a few episodes of Over the Garden Wall and created her own series, Bee and Puppy Cat, with the initial batch of episodes released in the mid-2010s, and then the second batch, titled Lazy in Space, released in 2022. In addition to animation work, she is also an accomplished comic book artist. It's been great seeing what Natasha Allegri has drawn of her appealing and eye-catching style since she first made her mark on Adventure Time. Fred Siebert, the executive producer of Adventure Time, he played a key role in getting it on the air, and so he absolutely deserves a mention. Although Siebert was initially on short first when he watched Pendleton Ward's initial pitch for his original short film that introduced the characters, he eventually decided to give his approval. After the short was finished and aired, Siebert tried to convince Nickelodeon to turn it into a series, but they rejected it multiple times. Adventure Time would then be taken to Cartoon Network, and the rest is history. Of course, Fred Siebert's legacy goes beyond Adventure Time. He was formerly the president of Hanna-Barbera, and in that position suggests the idea of the What a Cartoon Show as a way to produce shorts for Cartoon Network with the possibility of turning those cartoons into full series. He then founded Frederator Studios, which led to him serving as an executive producer on several popular animated series, like The Fairly Odd Parents, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Chalk Zone, and another Pendleton Ward show, Bravest Warriors. It's great that Fred Siebert has nurtured so much of this talent, and reading and listening to his interviews, it's clear the love he has for animation. Ian Jones Gordon. A starboard artist on Adventure Time, Jonas Cordy has had his name on some of the most popular Cartoon Network shows the past decade or so, and serving multiple functions. After making an impression with his early web cartoons, he was hired on the show The Venture Brothers. After a stint on Adventure Time, he then played key roles on Steven Universe as a director, writer, storyboard artist, and executive producer. He then created his own series, OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, which ran for 3 seasons on Cartoon Network. He's even proven himself to be a talented voice actor, providing multiple voices on a few of those aforementioned shows, as well as Bravest Warriors. Recently, he joined some other Adventure Time alumni to direct and write the Adult Swim special The Elephant, which incidentally was partly the brainchild of Kent Osborne. He's definitely proven himself to be an artist to watch. Thorpe Van Norman, a supervising producer and writer on the first 2 seasons of Adventure Time, Van Norman is known for his wacky sensibilities, which he's brought to several productions. After writing on shows like the Powerpuff Girls and Camp Lazlo, Thorpe Van Norman got the opportunity to create his own series with the Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. He also voiced the lead character Flapjack after Paul Reubens, who was originally asked to do it, never showed up. Van Norman being included on this list is also important to mention, since Pendleton Ward worked on the show before creating Adventure Time. Alex Hirsch would also contribute to the series, and in return he cast Van Norman as the voice of Little Gideon on Gravity Falls. Recently he's become very involved with the Angry Birds franchise, directing the Angry Birds movie 2, with him putting together a lot of funny set pieces. He also wrote the screenplay for the upcoming 3rd film. He certainly has a love for wild cartoon antics, which suit him well for the early seasons of Adventure Time. Patrick McHale. Another Flapjack alumni, McHale was a creative director and writer for the show, contributing various ideas that helped flesh out the Land of Ooo and its inhabitants. He then created the wonderful animated miniseries Over the Garden Wall, which showcased so much of his imagination and visual style, with the show having a very classic look to it that fit with the Halloween vibe. And I'm not the only one who felt that way, as it was highly acclaimed and won an Emmy for Outstanding Animated Program. He would then collaborate with Guillermo del Toro on the screenplay for his adaptation of Pinocchio, and together they delivered a fantastic script that used the classic story of that wooden boy to comment on fascism. He was hired by Netflix to make an adaptation of Brian Jacques' book series Redwall, but he then left the project and it was never made. That's a shame, and I remain curious what he would have done with the material. Patrick McHale always seems to be cooking up something, so I'm curious what he eventually gets to work on, although I've long felt he would be ideal for an adaptation of The Wizard of Oz. Now, since I know a few people will bring it up, I'm sure some will wonder why I did not include legendary Disney animator James Baxter on this list, who worked on the series and had a character named after him. And the reason is I already talked about him in my top 10 names you may recognize in the Roger Rabbit credits video, and I try not to repeat people on these lists. So with that said, the number 1 name you may recognize in the Adventure Time credits is Rebecca Sugar. As a writer, storyboard artist, and even songwriter on Adventure Time, she played a big role and was heavily involved in helping develop the series and its characters. She was then able to pitch her own series to Cartoon Network, which became Steven Universe. Having learned a lot from her time on Adventure Time, that helped add to the charm of Steven Universe, as it explored its space-going characters and their magical abilities, along with the LGBTQ themes. Sugar would also direct the movie, and after taking a bit of a break from that world, it was recently announced she would be coming back for a new Steven Universe series on Amazon Prime. On the film side, Sugar was a storyboard artist on Hotel Transylvania and also worked with Matt Braley as a writer on a Thai-themed animated film originally developed for Sony Pictures Animation, but now being worked on by a studio in Thailand. She's also working on a movie based on Tove Jansson's beloved characters, the Moomins, for Annapurna Animation, and she is absolutely a fitting choice to handle them. As you can see, Adventure Time really came together thanks to the amazing work of these artists and producers, as well as Pendleton Ward, and I'd like to personally thank all of you for taking us to the Land of Ooo. See you next time.